Welcome back manusia-manusia kepo. Kalian lagi dengerin Kepo Tapi Peduli The Podcast, di mana gue dan Josephine kepoin cewek-cewek tanah air yang doing hot girl shit. Kali ini kita ditemenin hot girl yang mungkin kalian juga udah lumayan kenal ya. Kita ditemenin Josephine Tansara, seorang art director dan juga vokalis, dan dia juga of course co-hostnya Kepo Tapi Peduli. Episode ini sih lebih kayak sharing session sih, dimana Josephine bakal ceritain pengalaman-pengalaman pahitnya dalam percintaan. Lebih spesifiknya pengalaman patah hatinya sih. Dan kalian kalau udah pernah patah hati, tahu banget kan tuh pahit-pahitnya. Apalagi pernah di toxic relationship atau mungkin bahkan ya ditikung sama best friendnya sendiri. Ya ampun, ini cerita-ceritanya Josephine tuh bakal relate banget. Terus dia juga sharing tips-tips moving on dan cara untuk mulai mencintai diri sendiri. So, let's get to the chase. Welcome, Josephine.
Kok gue jadi kayak merasa di hot seat gitu ya? Kayak gue gak pernah rasanya di interview, jadi gue jadi deg-degan juga.
Oh, lo ngerasa kayak nervous gitu gak?
Nervous gitu sih, cuma I'm excited juga. I'm ready to expose everything to the world.
Ceritain dong if you've ever felt heartbroken, atau mungkin in other words, Kak Josephine pernah patah hati gak?
Siapa sih yang gak pernah patah hati? Dan menurut gue, patah hati itu bisa beda-beda ya. You know, like people think patah hati itu cuma dari pacar. Tapi dari pengalaman gue, patah hati itu gak cuma dari pacar atau someone that you're like romantically involved with. Like I've had heartbreak from like friends too, you know what I mean? Like people outside your romantic relationship can also break your heart.
Gimana ceritanya?
Yang paling sakit gitu lah, yang paling ngena ya.
Cerita yang paling sakit, terus settingnya tuh apa gitu, konteksnya kenapa?
Jadi kalau misalnya gue yang patah hati sama teman, sama romantically involved itu happen to be the same story. Dan jadi long story short, I was like, you know, hook-up gitu lah sama cowok ini. Dan during this whole time gue udah tahu banget nih, sebenarnya relationship ini tuh toxic banget buat gue. Karena ya gak ada jalan akhirnya juga. Dan the way we treat each other and the way, you know how like some people can really bring out the best of you?
Yes.
And gue merasa dia tuh actually bring out the worst in me gitu loh. It was like everything I didn't want to be.
Right.
Dan karena gue baru kenal dia di period itu, ya dia juga tahu gue sebagai cewek itu aja gitu loh. Itu personality gue, padahal itu bukan. Nah during this whole thing itu, gue temenan deket sama cewek ini gitu lah ya, sama temen gue yang teman quote unquote, ya sekarang udah gak temen lagi. Cuma sama temen gue yang ini, dan long story short, akhirnya mereka kayak quote unquote juga selingkuh. Ya maksudnya gue juga gak pacaran sama cowok ini, cuma akhirnya cewek ini ended up sama cowok ini gitu lah, dan bener-bener betray gue banget gitu loh. Jadi itu beneran two birds one stone apa two stone one bird ya? Gue birdnya kan ya. I was the bird. I was a dying bird. Cuma kayak gue kenal banget gitu patah hatinya, karena gak cuman patah hati sama cowok ini, which in retrospect, jadi gak bisa ngomong gitu ya, deg-degan.
Nervous ya?
Gue jadi nervous. In the grand scheme of things, honestly, walaupun gue sakit hati, gue sama cowok ini akhirnya gak pacaran atau kayak gue gak ended up sama dia, actually gue lebih sakit lagi dikhianati sama temen sih. Menurut gue nih, makan temen itu lebih sakit lagi. Karena menurut gue kalau misalnya lo lagi sama cowok gitu kan, ya you're taking a risk. You basically is putting faith on something yang lo gak gitu tahu gitu, yang kayak oh ya udah kita bisa workout bisa enggak. Cuma kalau lo sama temen kan, temen lo itu confident lo gitu kan, yang kayak lo bener-bener trust that friendship itu will last hopefully like a very long time. So I feel like sakitnya itu beda sih, kayak lebih bitter gitu ya, lebih bitter, dan your trust itu bener-bener hilang. Jadi itu salah satu patah hati gue, dan gue juga tentu patah hati pas gue putus sama my actual mantan gitu lah. Dan menurut gue itu patah hatinya beda, karena gue pacaran lama banget nih mantan gue 3,5 tahun.
Ini beda orang.
Ini beda orang ya, geng.
Ini
sama actually mantan gue sebelah namanya.
Iya, kalau yang sebelumnya ini lebih kayak FWB.
Iya, FWB gitu lah ya. Nah, kalau misalnya gue mantan ini, kayaknya patah hatinya itu di drag along gitu loh, dimana gue merasa I was like falling out of love. And I think it was like a gradual heartbreak, dimana gue tuh sedih gitu loh. It's hard. It's hard when you actually like fall out of love with someone. And so that's like another type of heartbreak, I feel.
Menurut lo ada nggak mungkin red flags yang tadinya ada di relationships lo yang sebelum nih sama si FWB atau sama mantan lo yang beneran ini yang malah jadi bikin lo hypersensitif tentang hal-hal tersebut di
Wah,
mungkin di relationship lo yang sekarang gitu loh.
ini gue kayak therapy session gitu ya. Definitely. I don't think I realize how much it affects me until I actually step into another relationship. Karena pas gue single ya udah gue nggak usah ngurusin perasaan-perasaan ini. Perasaan-perasaan ini are not feelings that I actually need to encounter.
You don't face
These
it
are
every
not
day.
feelings that I need to face. Tapi bakal ada hal-hal yang actually trigger gue banget gitu loh. Dan hal-hal ini tuh gue gak nyadar bakal actually affect me. Something that I realize is pas gue di toxic relationship ini nih, atau pas gue bahkan sama gue mantan gue, it's like very different feelings, right? Kayak sama mantan gue, I think sesuatu yang gue fear itu is losing that comfort. So that was something that I had to unlearn. Karena gue pacaran sama dia lama banget. Jadi gue merasa pas putus itu, the habit that I have to unlearn is being alone. And that was the hardest part. Nah, pas gue sama FWB ini, it's like when you are so used to a certain habit atau lo udah di-treat for a period of time, you almost forgot what a healthy relationship feels like.
Maksudnya kayak kalau lu udah di mistreat for so long, you forget the benchmark of a good relationship.
Iya,
gitu
iya. Lu pernah gak sih kayak ketemu orang yang mungkin udah pacaran lama banget, terus kayak you see it from the outside, it's like, why are you still in this relationship?
Yes.
And there's a lot of reason why mungkin this person stay. Cuma kadang-kadang lo juga yang kayak, oh, okay, this person has been in this for such a long time that she probably forget what it's like to have a healthy relationship. So that was like a habit that gue harus unlearn gitu loh, abis gue udah gak sama dia.
Pengalaman lu dari mantan lu itu sangat-sangat stabil and comforting. Terus habis itu FWB lu tuh bener-bener kayak roller coaster.
Iya, iya, asli. Kayaknya tuh dia bener-bener
Ekstrim
dia
ya,
ekstrim.
Josephine.
Wah, gue ekstrim banget sih, dude. They're like complete opposite dua cowok ini yang kayak back to back gitu ya. Satu tuh bener-bener yang kayak ya selalu ada lah 24/7 kayak 7-Eleven gitu. Lucu juga itu. Nggak lucu sih. Kalau misalnya satu lagi tuh ada limitnya gitu, susah nyarinya kalau misalnya mau overtime
Gitu ya, iya. Jadi dari dua pengalaman tersebut, is there anything yang lu pelajarin terus lu apply ke relationship lu yang ini?
Yes, I think from these two, more than like learning about these people and like how they're gonna treat me, I think I learned a lot about myself. Dan menurut gue itu actually sesuatu yang paling liberating gitu lah, paling berharga abis gue udah gak sama orang-orang yang mungkin gak cocok buat gue gitu. And it was also like the hardest part, I think, to say like, rupanya gue tuh orangnya kayak gini ya, and these are things that I still need to work on. Karena as much as gue mau nyalain semuanya ke cowok-cowok yang mungkin ya gak cocok aja gitu sama gue, dan I put some of the blame to them, tapi gue juga belajar banyak yang kayak, oh rupanya gue insecure ya. Seharusnya gue menghargai diri sendiri lebih dari ini gitu loh. Dan learning to actually look at myself and like reflect and okay, these are things that I wanna be better at is like very helpful. It's very helpful for my current relationship. Someone was telling me the way you let other people treat you is the way you see yourself.
Oh my
Itu dalam banget gak sih? Dan satu lagi itu kadang-kadang kita selalu melihat orang itu kayak gimana who this partner we're with, but we don't look at how we are when we're with them. And I told you earlier, kayak gue nggak suka, gue tuh orangnya kayak gimana sama cowok yang terakhir ini, yang toxic ini. Tapi sama cowok gue yang sekarang, dia expectation sama gue tuh nggak banyak. Dia nggak expect a lot from me, but I feel like I want to be my best person for him.
Lucu banget.
Dan jadi perasaannya tuh beda banget gitu loh. And I actually like who I am now. Like I like who I am when I'm with him. I like who I am when he's not around. Kayak gue actually setelah all these heartbreak, like I learned a lot about things that I want to work on myself. And obviously like your last episode pas kita ngomongin how you know if he's the one, I think from dating you learn
so
the type of
much.
people that you like and you don't like.
And also like the type of person you wanna be, again as you said gitu kan, karena kayak I think there's two people in a relationship, right? Si significant other dan lu nya sendiri gitu loh. Tadi kan kita ngomongin tentang lu jago move on nih ya.
Lumayan. Self-proclaim ya.
Self-proclaim.
Self-proclaim queen of moving on.
Queen of moving on.
Itu my next single ya. Dan kalau saya gue ada single Queen of Moving On.
Gimana tips-tips lu untuk orang-orang yang mungkin lagi patah hati, terus lagi pengen banget move on? Cause sometimes kalau lo lagi heartbroken, it's really hard to see the light at the end of the tunnel. Gue kalau lagi patah hati tuh gue ngerasa this is the end. Like I'm never gonna feel happy again. Just my life is gonna be over. Ada nggak tips-tips atau strategi untuk move on dari feeling tersebut?
For me, moving on is really like focusing on myself and being like selfish. It's okay. Like really putting my needs and what I want first. Sesuatu yang gue pelajari itu buat tiap orang moving on tuh beda banget. Kayak buat gue move on-nya cepet. Cuma I can't really apply this technique to everyone else. Karena mungkin orang cara deal with grief-nya tuh beda gitu loh. Kalau misalnya gue personally lah, abis gue udah in this toxic thing, even though it was really hard, karena lo pasti kepo dan kayak, are they like happier than me, blah blah, are they like moving on? Gue literally delete, block, dan that actually really helped me. Orang mungkin bilang gue petty, cuma actually that's what I need. Karena gue tahu kalau misalnya gue nge-sulk on these things, atau gue selalu di sosmed, nanti gue bakal check-in mulu. Jadi I took the steps that I know is uncomfortable, but like I know it would work for me. I don't really care what other people think, yang kayak, oh itu petty, kenapa lo ngeblok mereka segala macem. Cuma kayak that's what I needed. And I was so angry, and I was really sad, disappointed. I took the time to feel all those things. Karena gue tuh orangnya gak suka sedih, Den. Tapi gue tahu kalau misalnya gue gak nangisin, dan gue gak marah-marah, gue gak ceritain ke 10-20 of my good friends, like, I will not get over it. Remember that at the end of the day, you are the strongest person that you can rely on. And I think you need to give yourself a little bit more grace and a little bit more credit. Sometimes people think that they need someone else to move on, but all you need is yourself.
Itu buat quote ya ntar. Misalnya sama FWB lo ini ya, do you think you would ever end that relationship kalau dia pun gak ditikung sama temen lo?
Wah, anjing.
Do you think, ya sih kayak obviously karena temen lu sendiri ngehianatin lo, you're like no way, I would never go back there. Tapi do you think kalau misalkan itu pun gak kejadian, what would you wish to happen?
What would you have wished to happen? What would I have wished to happen is pas dia mungkin actually mau sama gue or something, gue yang kayak actually gue gak mau. Itu ya idealnya kan kayak gitu.
Iya.
But yeah, I don't know. Honestly, it's hard to say. Karena menurut gue percaya banget bahwa everything happened for its reason. Like I always say, like if it's meant to be, it's meant to be. If it's not meant to be, then like don't force it, don't push it gitu kan. Dan obviously pas gue lagi sama dia, ya gue udah nge-push, gue udah nge-force. Force-nya sudah banyak, Din. nggak pernah
ngerti
workout
gue.
gitu ya. I'm actually glad that things happened the way it was. Kayak, it was very difficult. I'm not saying it wasn't difficult. Sometimes people think just because gue tuh move on-nya cepet, that the process was easy.
Yeah.
It wasn't. It was actually very, very painful. Dan like I mentioned before, it took me actually kayak, okay, gue udah pacaran sama cowok yang baru, gue baru nyadar PTSD-nya itu kayak gimana. Impact-nya tuh kayak gimana.
Coba cerita.
Kayak gimana.
PTSD-nya gimana?
Jadi tentu banyak hal yang masih harus pelajari tentang diri gue sendiri gitu ya.
Even sekarang.
Iya, contohnya gue tuh struggle banget pas gue sama FWB gue tuh untuk communicate my needs gitu. Nah akhirnya sama cowok gue yang sekarang, gue juga kadang-kadang struggle gitu to communicate my needs karena gue merasa bahwa needs gue mungkin nggak sepenting needs-nya dia gitu. Tapi jujur, dan cowok tuh kadang-kadang nggak ngerti perasaan kita. Lo tuh nggak bisa yang kayak ngeraba-ngeraba gitu. Jadi lo harus yang kayak straightforward gitu kan. Dan kadang-kadang gue lupa gitu loh bahwa cowok gue sekarang ini bukan FWB
yang kemarin.
It's not the same person.
Yeah.
Jadi nggak fair juga dong buat dia bahwa I always have like these kind of like mindset gitu kan. Yeah. Tapi it's something that I still have to unlearn.
Yeah.
I'm learning to give more grace to myself. Dan bahwa moving on itu journey. Ya, I would say 90%, mungkin 95% of bulk of my moving on itu bener-bener gue udah move on.
Yeah.
Gue tahu gue move on karena I know when I moved on because I can look back at things in my life and I'll laugh about it. Gue yang kayak, actually that's fucking hilarious.
Yeah.
That's like funny that
Yeah.
happened. And for me, bukan funny yang kayak hahaha gitu ya, cuma yang kayak
konyol ya.
Konyol. Like, that's so crazy. Kayak why was it so dramatic? Gue tuh merasa kayak gue hidup di sinetron gitu Din pas hal-hal ini terjadi. Jadi ya udah, after I can laugh about it, I also need to realize that I still have this 5% of the PTSD yang gue masih harus urusin gitu lah ya.
I know you said you've already moved on, maybe 95%. Tapi ada nggak pengen dapat penjelasan gitu dari mereka tentang kejadian lalu itu?
I think I realized that lo mau gimana pun sama orang lain, lo pasti mau lebih lagi. Jadi kayak I realized that closure really came from myself and not from other people, and that was like the most liberating. Kayak gue perlu apa dari mereka? Mereka mau ngomong apapun, am I even gonna believe it? It's not gonna be useful for me juga. Jadi ngapain gue waste my time? Karena actually like I had that period where I was like, kenapa sih ex-temen gue ini dia nggak bilang sorry sama sekali until gue actually set my peace. Gue cuma bilang kayak gue nggak mau ngomong, kayak you don't deserve my energy. Terus dia baru akhirnya sorry ya, rupanya gue benar-benar menyakiti perasaan lo. Terus habis itu gue yang kayak okay, that not only make me feel more annoyed, and I feel like kalau misalnya gue ketemu dia ya udah gue makin gaslight. You know what it is? I feel like kalau misalnya gue ketemu sama orang ini, what am I looking for? For me, it sounds like I would be looking for validation from other people. Please validate that what I'm feeling is right. But once I validate myself, once I was able to yang kayak okay, ini perasaan gue dan perasaan gue valid, that's when I moved on. Ladidah.
Gila.
Gue udah mulai nulis buku aja ya, Queen of Moving On. Oke deh, sip.
Wah, merinding ya tuh guys. Gue aja merinding.
Gue gila. Gue merinding disco, dengerin diri sendiri, gila.
Gue inget pas gue lagi patah hati tuh I'm always very very mean to myself, you know, kayak gue nyalahin diri sendiri. But it's hard to talk nicely to yourself kalau lo lagi in a bad place. I'm wondering how you were when you were dealing with your heartbreaks.
It was like a mix of emotions. Pas masih seger banget gitu ya patah hatinya, it's a mix of things. Kebanyakan mungkin lebih negatif yang kayak nyalain diri sendiri. Kenapa sih kayak gini-gini, apa guenya kayak gitu. Tapi setelah terapi, setelah ngobrol-ngobrol sama temen gue, I really had to think about how would a friend talk to you. Misalnya lo patah hati nih, Din. Mungkin gak sih gue marah-marahin lo? Masa gue yang kayak, Din gila lo bego banget sih kayak gini-gini gitu kan. Ya itu gak bakal membantu gitu loh, orang lo lagi sedih. Ya akhirnya gue harus belajar bahwa oke, kalau misalnya gue lebih baik sama diri sendiri, atau I'm treating myself the way my best friend would talk to me, the way my best friend would like treat me gitu kan. It's easier to also move on karena lo have more grace to yourself and you feel a bit more positive. Lo bisa like meditate and reflect in a more positive manner. Karena there's always two outcome kan, lo move on. You can either be even worse or lo bisa take that sebagai opportunity buat lo untuk menjadi orang yang lebih baik dan realize that you know, things get better and you deserve more. You're worth it. Wow.
Ngomong-ngomong tentang being a supportive friend, even to yourself, gimana kita bisa jadi temen yang baik untuk mungkin temen lu yang emang lagi patah hati? Karena mungkin kayak tadi lu bilang juga, sometimes it's hard to even ask help from your friends, to even just say how you're feeling, to even your loved ones. As a friend, you might not always know what the right things to say or the right things to do. Kalau dari pengalaman lu pas lu lagi baru putus, what was really helpful or what did you wish your friends did to you that helped?
Honestly, the most helpful was just like being there for me. Yang kayak cuma dengerin aja. Sometimes people just need a shoulder to lean on, you know, yang kayak to cry on. And I think being able to come to your friend dan gak merasa lo bakal dijudge gitu sama teman-teman lo. Cause I think during the hard times, it's like, you know how people say kalau misalnya, again, whether it's relationship or friendship, everything is nice and flowery and, you know, it's like everything's beautiful until sesuatu yang mungkin gak enak terjadi gitu loh. Like that's when your relationship is tested, right? So when things are hard, pas lu lagi patah hati atau lu lagi sedih, that's when your friendships are tested. That's when you can see teman-teman mana sih yang supportive buat lo. And during that period, gue ingat gue ada group of friends yang bener-bener ya udah dengerin gue aja gitu, nggak apa-apa. Gue marah-marah, gue nangis-nangis, dan gue nggak merasa gue bakal dijudge. Tapi gue juga have come across teman-teman yang akhirnya kan gue udah dengerin. Lu tuh ngabisin waktu gue banget gitu, yang kayak beneran hold it against, iya kayak ini lagi gitu kan. Dan itu kan gue jadi gak enak dong, jadi gue kayak ya udah gue males cerita sekarang kalau misalnya gue ada masalah. Yeah, just like listen. You can even like ask questions kalau misalnya dia mau orang yang patah ini mau advice gitu ya. I would say a lot of times people don't listen.
Iya.
Ya kan, kalau lagi patah hati sama lo mau jatuh cinta, patah hati, biasa sama aja orangnya, nggak ada yang mau dengerin, keluar kuping masuk kuping kiri, keluar kuping kanan gitu kan.
Soalnya pas kalau lagi jatuh cinta sama lagi patah hati tuh you just wanna hear what you wanna hear.
Karena emotion lo ya udah satu doang gitu loh. But also you can have boundaries menurut gue sebagai teman gitu. Kalau misalnya emang remember you're not your friend's therapist gitu kan, ya udah lo mau dengerin gitu, dan kalau misalnya lo emang udah capek, you can suggest things like, oh, what about talking to a professional, what about taking counseling, atau but just stay positive. I think that's another thing, listen and stay positive.
Lu percaya nggak kalau abis putus kita perlu rebound dulu sebelum ketemu?
Rebounding tuh yang
gitu.
Buat rambut gitu ya? Itu rebounding. Rebound. Perlu apa enggak gitu ya?
Untuk cleanse the palate.
Cleanse the palate. Buat orang beda-beda sih. You know what I did? I don't think gue kayak necessarily ada rebound. Cuma gue actually went on lots of dates. I like went on so many dates. I think even during pas gue sama FWB ini gue masih ya udah ngedate orang kita nggak barengan gitu kan. Tapi bedanya pas gue lagi sama dia ini, gue tuh nyari orang yang mungkin bakal replace dia. Tapi abis kayak gue udah dating around, I think I started to see gitu, gue yang kayak ini rada apa ya, triggering, mirip-mirip nih kayak vibe-vibe-nya sama ini, ya udah gue nggak mau gitu. I think I had a better boundaries, I had a clearer boundaries, I had a clearer idea kayak abis gue ya udahlah rebounding around gitu ya. For me it was kind of like dating around. Ya udah gue cuma it is what it is. Cuma kalau menurut gue advice kalau misalnya lo emang mau rebound, menurut gue jangan ada expectation. Know what you're getting into. You're not stupid. People always thinking kayak, oops, aku jatuh cinta lagi, atau yang kayak, oops, gue mulai kayak, gue mulai hook up lagi nih sama cowok lain gitu. Cuma padahal, another toxic one or another toxic relationship. I think people don't give themselves enough credits. You know exactly what you're getting into. Like, don't play dumb. Karena menurut gue, you have options, you have choices. Gak ada menurut gue relationship dimana you don't have the option to like get out gitu lah ya. Apalagi kalau misalnya lu lagi rebound atau hook up doang gitu. So if you wanna do that, ya udah. Cuma know what you're getting yourself into gitu loh. Dan for me what help is gue gak ada expectation. Terus akhirnya ada aja gitu orang yang cocok gitu kan. Ya you'll never know.
Iya bener sih, gue juga gitu.
Cuman don't use it to move on menurut gue.
Jangan sengaja nyari orang untuk ngelupain gitu kan.
Again, don't use other people to validate you.
Don't use other people titik sih sebenarnya.
Iya, don't use other people atau sih. Jangan gunain orang lain.
Iya bener.
Cause you also need to remember you want to treat others the way
you wanna be treated.
You wanna be treated.
Ya, betul.
Makanya gue tuh anti ghosting banget, man.
Oh ya.
Iya.
Kecuali cuma anti ghosting habis gue di ghosting sih. Sebelum itu gue
lo nge-ghost ya. Lo hantu-hantu setan-setan yang biasa di sinetron gitu, itu Dina sebenarnya.
Ini the $1 million question kali ya. Kalau lu bisa ulang waktu, lu mau nggak ngerubah apapun dari masa itu?
I probably wouldn't, karena gue bener-bener, again, like I really believe that everything that happened in my life, apa yang terjadi di hidup gue itu bener-bener nge-shape gue tuh sekarang orangnya kayak gimana. Gue gak mungkin bisa sama pacar gue sekarang gitu yang sehat banget gitu loh. Our relationship feels so secure, dan gue juga merasa gue peaceful gitu sama dia. Gue gak mungkin bisa di posisi ini kalau misalnya gue gak merasakan rupanya sakit kalau misalnya gue sama seseorang yang selalu bikin gue tuh ngira-ngira, selalu ambigu, selalu bikin gue asumsi. Itu tuh rupanya gak enak ya. Jadi gue benar-benar harus merasakan semua hal ini gitu loh. Rupanya pas sama mantan gue codependent itu rupanya gak bagus ya gitu ya. Rupanya it's not really useful ya. Rupanya it's nice to have space. Semua hal ini benar-benar ngajarin gue hal-hal yang lebih positif dan lebih membangun jadi diri gue yang sekarang. Someone who's like stronger, someone who's more confident, someone who's more unapologetic gitu sama yang gue mau. Tentu lebih banyak hal yang masih harus gue pelajari dan masih harus gue improve on. Tapi tanpa pengalaman pahit, tanpa quote-unquote failures in your life, lu gak mungkin tahu sukses itu kayak gimana.
Ya emang harus bisa sampling sih, jadi ada benchmark ya.
Kalau lu, emang lu mau mengganti kalau misalnya patah hati lu?
Maybe not ya. I mean, nggak tahu ya, kayak my first love was my biggest heartbreak to me. There was a lot of very, very toxic things that happened that I think I would have skipped a few things. But at the end of the day, I agree juga sih, kalau gue nggak pernah sama manusia itu, I don't think I would have been where I am either, and like know the things I know now. Because I think since then, I'm definitely more wise.
Bijak dia, Dina.
I'm wiser in like gradually kayak orang-orang gue in a relationship with after lah.
Tapi lo kayak, did it teach you a lot of things?
Oh, 100%.
for your relationship now? I mean, I did realize abis setelah hal-hal yang gak enak ini terjadi sama gue, I was much more guarded actually. Kayak gue merasa gue jadi takut banget gitu loh untuk disakiti lagi. Karena ya emang gak enak kan, rasanya disakiti itu capek banget gitu loh. Emotionally exhausting, emotionally like, I don't wanna get there again. But yeah, that was, I don't know about you, cuma kayak itu learning experience juga sih. Itu kayak a habit that I had to unlearn. Karena gue tuh saking takutnya disakiti, gue literally takut untuk open up gitu.
Iya.
Saking takutnya lu open up, ya udah akhirnya lu nggak progres kemana-mana juga gitu kan. Karena it's hard, right? Like relationship itu susah juga karena cari balance-nya. Gimana ya gue bisa tetap protect myself, cuma lu vulnerable juga gitu loh. Buat sharing hal-hal tentang hidup lo.
Mungkin yang gue pelajarin dari my first love, I honestly think it was like the worst time of my life. Abis itu, obviously gue jadi lebih pinter in choosing the next people I'm with. And obviously I'm still guarded when I'm like meeting new people. Tapi at least gue ada sedikit kepinteran in filtering out-nya gitu loh. Mungkin guarded ya obviously lah, kayaknya sama semua orang baru pasti kita semua jadi lebih guarded. But I think that's like for your benefit, karena you're guarded for a reason, right? Like you can't just be trusting anyone, because I think that's what happened in my first love. You just trust someone so much, and then you might trust the wrong people, you know? And then that's how that toxic relationship happened.
Setuju juga sih. Dan I think another thing is, yes, gue guarded, tapi kenapa akhirnya gue bisa lebih terbuka sama perasaan gue? Karena rupanya cowok gue yang sekarang ini orangnya sabar banget. Dan gue juga bisa komunikasi gitu sama dia yang kayak, actually, listen, like, gue suka banget sama lo, cuma gue guarded karena pengalaman ini. Dan dia gak maksa, karena kesabaran dia dan karena dia actually mau nungguin yang kayak, oh gak apa-apa, we can take things slow. Gue jadi merasa, oh
nyaman kan?
Nyaman
Iya.
gitu. Jadi yang nyaman, dan gue yang kayak, maybe I can open up again and maybe it's gonna be okay.
Do you have any advice for people yang mungkin masih di toxic relationship?
I think I knew relationship gue itu toxic karena I didn't like who I was. So I would suggest whatever relationship it is, mungkin itu persahabatan lo, mungkin itu romantic relationship lo, do you like who you are when you're with them? That's like the big question kan. Do you feel like yourself? Do you feel like you can be yourself? Apakah lo pretend to be someone else? Pas gue sama cowok ini tuh yang FWB ini nih, kayak gue euphoric banget, gue seneng banget kalau misalnya gue lagi sama dia. Cuma the moment gue pulang ke rumah, gue sedih banget gitu loh. Gue kok merasa kayak lonely gitu ya. Kayaknya gue tuh cuma senengnya kalau misalnya gue sama dia. And I think that's also something I realized. Kok gue gak senengnya sama diri sendiri? Kenapa ya gue gak seneng sama my own company? I think you know kalau misalnya relationship lo itu sehat karena you're not depending your happiness on them. Kebahagiaan lo itu gak tergantung sama orang ini. Kebahagiaan lo itu tergantung sama diri lo sendiri. So yeah, it's easy to blame another person when you're in a toxic relationship. Yang kayak, this person is ABC. Kenapa sih orangnya kayak gini. Tapi lo juga harus lihat diri sendiri. It's so hard. Susah banget. Susah banget.
Ya?
Ngaca tuh susah loh. Ngaca dan actually lihat diri sendiri yang kayak, do I like myself right now? Do I feel okay? Again, like talk to yourself with grace. Talk to yourself kindly. Baik-baik sama diri lo sendiri. Dan sayang sama diri lo sendiri gitu.
Mantap. Oke. Bener-bener last question nih. Kalau lu yang hari ini bisa kasih advice ke diri lu sendiri pas di tahun-tahun turmoil ini yang lu masih muda, masih foolish deh. What would you say?
I think just like love yourself more. Sayanglah sama diri lu sendiri. Kalau misalnya lu gak sayang sama diri sendiri, orang juga gak bisa sayang sama lo, karena artinya lo gak melihat self-worth lo apa, dan itu bakal memproyeksikan gimana lo melihat diri sendiri gitu lah ya. Kalau misalnya lo sayang sama diri sendiri, kalau lo percaya diri, orang tuh bisa loh ngelihat dia tuh pede ya orangnya, ambisius ya, rupanya dia orangnya seneng gitu ya. Like people can really feel when you're filled with joy because that's what you will spread to the people is joy and happiness. Cie. And again, self-love is a journey. Menurut gue tiap orang tuh journey-nya beda. It's almost like a lifelong journey. Yeah, I that's what I would say. Invest time in yourself and find what makes you happy. Jangan cari di orang lain. Karena the moment lo taruh kebahagiaan lo di orang lain, once that person is gone, then it's all gone. Ya udah, lo kembali ke sedih lagi dan galau lagi karena lo nggak suka sama diri lo sendiri. Tapi kalau misalnya lo bahagia sama your own company, then whoever comes into your life is only there to add value to your life. It's only there because you're good on your own, but your life is better sama orang ini. Jangan cari orang buat be your missing piece. You are full, you're whole on your own.
Wow.
Gitu. You are your missing piece. You don't need someone else to fill that missing piece.
Yes.
Like kalau misalnya lo masih ada missing piece ya udah lo cari sendiri gitu. Lo carilah apa yang membuat lo bahagia and what fulfills you and what makes you whole. Once you feel whole, lo bisa cari orang lain gitu yang
bisa bikin lo even happier.
Iya.
Karena menurut gue emang happiness tuh abundant ya. Lo kalau ngerasa oh my god happiness gue bakal berkurang kalau misalnya nih orang cabut, no, that's like false narrative menurut gue.
Dan itu juga gak selalu dari pacar sih menurut gue. Orang tuh selalu yang kayak kayak gue lebih seneng kalau misalnya pacaran. Remember that walaupun lo pacaran, there are so many other relationship you have to nurture. Relationship lo tuh gak cuma sama pacar lo doang. How's your relationship with your family? How's your relationship with your friends? And it's about balance kan. Misalnya lo pacaran sama seseorang, dan gara-gara lo pacaran sama orang ini, temen lo hilang. Lo gak ngobrol lagi sama keluarga lo gitu. Jangan lupa, misalnya, knock on wood, misalnya putus gitu lah ya. Terus nanti lo gimana? Masa kayak nyari-nyari lagi gitu kan? Jadi yang kayak you need to make sure that you nurture relationships, the different relationships, and remember that everyone can give you happiness, like different kind of happiness gitu loh. Happiness tuh gak cuma dari romantically doang. Happiness itu bisa dari diri lo, temen lo, keluarga lo gitu. Cie. Mantul.
Well, that wraps our time with Josephine.
Yes. Follow gue di @josephine_tansara. Nggak deng.
Beneran itu minta.
Beneran itu minta di promosiin. Use my code JoJo20. Kalau misalnya mau dengerin suara gue lagi ya di KTP The Podcast. Tinggalin pertanyaan-pertanyaan lo kalau misalnya lo mau nanya.
Geli banget.
Thank you Dina atas pertanyaan-pertanyaannya.
As always, thank you udah pada dengerin dan kita benar-benar menghargai semua bentuk support kalian. Kalau ada kesan dan pesan, let us know di @KTP The Podcast di Instagram. See you next episode.